Very good evening to everyone. I hope everyone is having a very good day. Unlike me right now, I'm just off I'm just off a 7-4 shift at work, so my brain is a little bit muddled tonight. But at least I've got Josh, my co-host, and he's done my Discord as well. Actually, the Discord link is in the chat. If you want to join the Discord, then please do as well. But yeah, Josh, good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, here we go again. Monday night, I'm stuck with Doug again. We've got Reece to bring on, sadly, and regrettably, I've already regretted it and already commented into it. So, but anyway, yes, here we go, and obviously we've got a nice new background today too.
Yeah, it is as well. We welcome back Reece Russell. Hope you are doing well, my friend.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Perfect weekend for sport, mate. And to be fair, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, late night.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, you're lucky.
When you're into sports, mate, I was up from, I was like, so
Was it NFL
I was 5 football and Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah. Last breath of the Undertaker.
Yeah, and I watched the podcast, so I didn't sleep till 5 o'clock.
Oh my word! Wow, that is a late night as well. And we are joined again by Nathan Morgan. How are you doing, Nathan?
Doing super. Thanks for having me back on. Looking forward to it, mate.
Absolutely. And we've got Paul Morgan as well. Welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you, Doug. Thanks for having us on again. Thank you.
Not a problem.
I'm actually offended. You named the second name of everyone other than me. You know, am I like not special or something? Am I just that lonely man who goes in the darkness? You know.
What is your second name?
Bell.
Josh Bell. Right. I will remember that next time. I will definitely remember that next time.
Right. I can see you know.
Let's say hello to a few people. It's Stuart. Hello, it's Stuart. Big news, actually. I need to say this. It's Stuart. Stuart will be joining us next week. Big Jambo, but looking forward to him coming on next week. Chris Welsh is in. Hope you're doing well, Chris. And he says Reece is back on his show. Yeah, absolutely. Hella Karlstad, evening all. And Liz Golden, afternoon all. Is afternoon Liz as well. But before we start, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you are new around here. And also hit the share button as well. But yeah, let's start. And I thought this would be quite a fun topic to begin with. Biggest Premier League flops. Now, Nicolas Pepe, I'm pretty sure you'll have seen it, got sent off at Arsenal yesterday. And let's be honest, he was a bit of a brainless idiot because basically he should know that VAR is there and it'll pick it up. He basically headbutted Alioski, who did go down like a sack of potatoes, to be fair. But what Pepe did was unthinkable. Really, really poor as well. I'll come to Josh first. As you can see from obviously the title, Josh, I've said Pepe the biggest Premier League flop ever. What do you think?
There's 3 people who we have bought who could very easily contest good old Nicolas Pepe. Alvaro Morata, who couldn't score to save his life, who was one of the worst I've ever witnessed. Timo Bakayoko, and also to remember. No, I think I've got you guys on my screen, so I'm not looking directly at. So we're looking directly at you for this. Danny Drinkwater for 40 million. He now plays for our development squad this year. I don't have to say anymore.
Oh. Is he even registered in the Chelsea squad then?
Nope. He's been playing with the under-20. He's been playing with the development squad all season. He plays with the kids, and we bought him for 40 million, and he's on 135k a week. He may not be a flop in terms of a big name signing, but 40 million for Danny Drinkwater, 60 million for Morata and Bakayoko. At least Pepe score goals. What did Morata, Bakayoko, and Drinkwater ever do for Chelsea? You know.
Yeah.
Kepa. Yeah. Well, Kepa. Everyone knew Kepa was a panic buy. That's the only reason why he's not a flop. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why I saw it.
Peter Raymond with one of the comments of the stream so far. Nicholas has lost his Pepe. I just think that's absolutely fantastic. Stuart has said, excited to join you guys next week and we'll be tuning in tonight. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you very, very much. Really do appreciate it.
I need to get a picture first, Stuart, quickly. Just talk away while I get this.
Yeah, Nathan. Premier League flops. Who's the first name that you think of when the saying Premier League flop?
I was going to go
He's wearing
all
a
the way
Juventus
back.
top. He should be smart.
True. I was going back all the way in the day to think about Fernando Torres or any single Cardiff City signing in the 2013-14 season. But Alvaro Morata, seeing him play in the Premier League, it's just embarrassing. I mean, it goes back to when watching Umar Niasse 2 seasons ago. I mean...
Oh, crikey.
Niasse for Everton, wasn't it, when he brought him in? I don't know. How many goals did he score when he was up there for the Toffees? 1, 2, maybe?
1, something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's got... for me, it's got to be Morata. I don't... for that price and just the way he played, I mean, they gave him a number 9. Surely he must have done something. But then again, what is it with Chelsea with signing Premier League flops? It always seems to be them. I just don't understand it.
What about, Shevchenko as well, possibly?
I was thinking, actually, Reece has disappeared right now, but I was thinking Di Maria. For the amount of money that Manchester United paid for him, I would say Di Maria is right up there. Reece has joined us back. I just said Di Maria, Reece. Would you agree with that?
Di Maria and his bitch boy Sanchez.
Yeah,
Sanchez was terrible.
They're the only 2 acceptable answers for this little topic. If it's Man United related, it has to be them.
Why are we not saying Paul Pogba?
Because frankly, I'm sick and tired of saying his name.
I think all Manchester United fans are, to be honest.
To be fair, I have a reason to go for Sanchez, and that was because he was a free transfer. Even though that the wage bill was absolutely disgusting for him, I still think that the way the transfer came around with him swapping with Mkhitaryan and going to Arsenal, I don't think it was as a big a flop as the likes of Nicolas Pepe and Morata, Bakayoko's can't even play for Crystal Palace and score for him. And maybe even Benteke for Palace. I mean, what's he ever done?
Andy Carroll there.
That's a good show.
Andy Carroll,
Joe Linton.
That's a great show.
Joe Linton. What's he
50 million. Unbelievable.
Oh, Falcao, yeah. I remember when Man United signed Falcao. I remember when Chelsea signed him as well. That didn't go down very well.
We made a mistake. We made a mistake. I mean, the best... As he was rightly called, and no one will disagree here, at the time he was the best number 9 in world football. There is no, Lewandowski's great, but Falcao was ahead of him before he got his injury. No one was clear to Falcao. But when he suffered that in the injury, he was never the same. And yeah, he's scoring goals for Monaco and now he's playing in the Turkish league, but it's not the Falcao that I remember tearing Real Madrid apart in the Copa del Rey final. It's not the Falcao that was a blistering nightmare for Porto with James Rodriguez, and he's gone. Yeah. But if you want to look at flops, he is one of them. Sanchez, he's a different kind of flop because he didn't cost anything, but he also cost a sheer shitload of wages. But he's still a flop because the money he was getting paid was 500 grand a week, 375k before tax. It doesn't justify performances. No. And Di Maria, yes, he had a burglary. Yeah, he was burgled, and frankly, that's something you can't condone. That's horrible. But even so, he lost his place to Ashley Young before that, and he didn't work hard enough to get his place back. And we paid 59.5 million for him, and we sold him for 47. Says it all.
What about I know this is Premier League. I know this is Premier League related, but what about Dembele and Griezmann at Barcelona? Overall,
Griezmann, I wouldn't call him a flop. I just call him extremely unlucky. He hasn't been given a proper chance. Dembele, yes.
I wouldn't say Dembele because he did have a pickup. I believe it was a season or two ago, and he started to increase his form, and he's starting to work his way back into the Barca team. But what I think is what they need to do to Phil Coutinho, where they send him out on loan, get him playing again,
in the Champions League,
score a goal against him in the Champions League, get him back to Barcelona, and then he should start to improve again. I don't think he's going to be the biggest flop in the world yet, especially for the price over 100 million, something ridiculous. But I don't know. He just needs that loan move to get him back into it, really, especially from his Dortmund days as well.
I reckon if it happens, I reckon if the so-called transfers happen in the upcoming future, I think the biggest flop in world football of all time will be Ansu Fati. Calling it now.
Really?
Of all time, it will be. Yeah. I mean, he's a good player where he is right now because he's protected by Barcelona, but I don't think he would cut it in. He would cut in the French league because it's easy, but Premier League, Bundesliga, I don't think he would cut it in Serie A. I don't think he's got the mentality for it, and that's not a brilliant league at the moment. But obviously, it's being dominated by AC Milan. But even so, it's not at its best. Someone's waving us, so I'm just going to wave back because that's the right thing to do. Sorry. But yeah,
I think it's Josh's last.
It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday. Keeping on the Manchester United theme, Reece, what about Juan Sebastian Veron back in the day? I think he was supposed to slot in with, was it Scholes and Keane? And he never quite cut it, did he? I remember actually going to see him play against Wales for Argentina. He looked very good then, came across and I don't know if he couldn't handle the physicality of the Premier League.
That's a fair question. I remember, obviously, when Veron joined United, it was the 2002-2003 season, and I was about 5 years old at the time. But I can remember him vaguely. And the one thing we can't deny about Veron is talent. I mean, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was a great player.
He was fantastic. I think it was Parma. And he was coached by the England manager at the time, Ericsson. Like he managed them, and they were successful together. But the one thing that's common with Man United, and I don't wish this on Alex Telles because he's a fantastic left back, is when it comes to South American players, Manchester United do not have a good record with them at all. Like their record with South American players is not great, particularly Argentinians, And I'm not singling Argentinians out. I'm not going to single out Uruguayan players or Brazilians, but the record for itself is not good. And I can't say why. I don't know if it's because of the climate of like where they are, like where we play. I don't know if it's just they can't adapt to the league. But a player like Veron, fantastic talent, great on the ball, can score goals. Not particularly great. He was a record signing as well. That's another thing. He was a record buy.
I think as well, he actually went from adapt. And then he ended up at Chelsea then afterwards.
And he was just as bad. Like from what I can recall, that one season he was not good at all. We couldn't even get Makalele at the team, which was fantastic.
Doug,
yes.
Put my screen share on for 2 seconds. I would love to see this man here in the Premier League, who I'm currently got my screen share on. I think Doug's looking pretty confused.
Who have you got? And this is how I'm going to respond to you.
Craig Levine.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The man who destroyed hearts. But anyway,
sorry, Stuart, if you're watching. Sorry,
it was
Stuart,
for him. It was for him. That is just a wee sign of what he's going to get next year. Or so next week. Sorry, next year. Get ahead of myself.
Says it all, really.
Are Liverpool showing they are capable to deal with the injuries and COVID regulations that have come their way? So my question is, will Liverpool retain the title, and if not, who will challenge? Oh yes, Josh. Do you want to tell everyone?
Doug, no, we're not going here. We're not going here.
What was your prediction for Liverpool Leicester?
3-0 Liverpool. I'm always spot on as always. You know, I'm never wrong.
It was 3-0 Leicester.
Was it?
It was.
No,
yeah,
it
I thought you won that game.
Oh
wait, it was the own goals, wasn't it?
Right, Johnny Evans knowing that not knowing if he plays for not knowing if he plays for Leicester or Liverpool. But going back to the game yesterday between Leeds and Arsenal. I mean, I could not believe how Leeds absolutely battered Arsenal and yet didn't score a single goal. And then obviously the moment of controversy, which was the red card. I mean, Nathan, if you've got all those cameras in front of you, you should know better not to go and headbutt someone, don't you?
You should. I mean, even Zidane should have known that in the World Cup final. But what was Pepe thinking? Must be a bit of red steam there or something. But he's really not making a name for himself, especially after last season, that Sheffield United game when he missed the penalty, and he's just really not helping himself. The only thing he's helping himself is scoring goals and sort of Arsenal covering up his performances. But I don't know. Something needs to happen now. Minimum 10-match ban.
If you're going to headbutt someone, you do it right as well. Like you do it right. You don't go in like a pussy.
Exactly.
You go in there like,
a little bit
fuck you, mate. You go in for it.
He went down a bit easily as well, I think. But
true.
It was a definite red. Josh, what did you make of the Pepe red card?
The Chelsea fans going to love this.
Right. Listen, Pepe. I think Pepe is not a 70 million player, but Arsenal got bullied by Lille to pay the 70 million. They got, the negotiations went on for months and months. It was like an Ed Woodward type long deal, and Arsenal got bullied into paying for Pepe. I don't think Pepe
bringing him in.
I think Pepe suits Arsenal. A bottom league half team. Arsenal are a bottom half team in the league. They're nothing special. What is Arsenal's strength? Can anyone here actually tell me what Arsenal's strength is? When you look at the team,
goals at the moment, is it?
And not defending either.
When you look at Chelsea are, say, a very good attacking side. Manchester United are a good counter-attacking side. Liverpool can win games ugly. They know how to win games. City don't know how to defend. What is like Arsenal? What can you say about Arsenal? I don't think they have an identity. I think Arteta is kind of just doesn't really know what. I think you always say about managers run out of ideas and what to do with their team. I think Arteta's at that stage where he's ran out of ideas. I hope you lost money on that, Josh. No, I don't bet. Probably a good thing. I don't either. So I think Arsenal, for me, I think all people say, Arsenal will be challenging for the top 4 this season. They'll be tough. You haven't scored a goal in open play in 7 hours of football when you've got Willian, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Saka, Reece Nelson, and Ketien. These are players who should be scoring goals. They have goals, they have attacking failure. Arteta isn't getting the best out of them. I'll say it now.
Yeah.
Controversially, I would be surprised if Arsenal got Europa League football again this year.
True.
Wow.
Arsenal will not get European football this season, guaranteed.
Yeah, well,
they were lucky to get it last season as well. Because they, what was it, 8th place? Yeah. And then they just managed to sneak through on the FA Cup. So
another thing, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. I actually can't believe I'm going to say this. But I actually think this shows Unai Emery was actually doing a good job and how hard of a job he actually had at Arsenal. Because I think Arteta handled hard. Because Emery's doing a good job at Villarreal. I think they're top 3, top 4 in La Liga.
And also 30 games unbeaten as well, which is
exactly.
And they were still shit.
And and the thing is, I have to also say this, and this is a very a big thing for Arsenal. I think hand on heart this season, most definitely, Arteta is slowly and carefully starting to ruin Aubameyang. He played him on the left wing, which is not what Aubameyang can do. And as confidence falls, just not seeing the same Aubameyang. And for Arsenal to be successful, they need Aubameyang scoring goals.
Guys, there is a result in the Premier League. Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 0. Burnley have won their first game of the season.
So I think there's another perfect prediction for me then.
You see, that's Burnley going to go like 10 games unbeaten. Now, once they start winning games, they never stop. Or they drawing, they're one of teams.
So that is Sheffield United and now West Brom, who are the only teams who have not won at in the Premier League. And guess who they play? They play each other next week.
It's going to be a draw.
They play each other next week at the Hawthorn. So
I'm probably going to put my money on Sheffield United for that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
With the way and I don't know, with the way that West Brom have been playing recently, I just can't see it at all.
No, I can't see it. I mean, obviously, Josh has done his usual disappearing act.
I'm making.
Here he is.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
You're eating. Okay.
Yeah. Whenever you're talking about a topic, just say my name and I'll pop up out of nowhere.
Josh,
let's talk about. Let's. Oh God!
Hold on, I'm still counting.
Let's talk about some of the other games at the weekend. Quite an interesting game at Old Trafford. Man United winning 1-0 against West Brom. How did you feel that game went, Reece?
The most important thing, right, is that we got the result, and we're ahead of the so-called two teams that are better than us in the league, Man City and Arsenal. They're not. Just knowing that right now, they're not. But it wasn't the best game to watch. And
no,
there isn't much really I can say except we got a clean sheet, we got the 3 points, and rivals are still crying that Fernandes scored, so it's even better. But the game tomorrow is when we really need to pick up on this. Like we do struggle in coming back from international football. It's never been United's best record of coming back from international football. We always struggle. So at least we won. But the performance was lackluster. It was slow, lack of effort, too many touches, far too many passes in areas when you should have just took the killer chance and went for it. I don't know why we didn't pull the trigger at certain times. I think Martial was an example. Like, he had a clear opportunity in the box. He took it very lightly and Johnson saved it. I'm not singling him out as well. I forgot. Fuck off, you. Get that off. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Son. Because I called him, because I said he sucked. That's how he responds. He blows out.
What did you make of the penalty decision? Because like the West Brom one.
Which
was
one?
Overturned.
Oh, the West Brom one. The West Brom one. Yeah, that was a penalty for me.
Yeah.
That was a penalty for me. Yeah.
I thought that was a penalty. I know that he did get some of the ball, but you can actually see his shin being, contacted with his other shin. Yeah, I actually thought that was a penalty, but the Man United one.
The one thing that I will say is, and it happens all the time, is if it's like Man United fans, like myself included, we react like mad if we get a penalty now. It's just funny, but it was more of a penalty for West Brom than it was for Man United, in my opinion. The shin clash, and yes, he did get the ball, but in other the game before it, was it the Watkins decision that was overturned? So that's another thing.
Here's my question.
Don't piss me off.
Here's my question to you, everyone. Like, Paul and Nathan will not experience this as much in the championship, but they won't have to deal with the actual internal explanation of this. But the simple question is, what is a penalty in 2020 of November? What is an actual penalty and what isn't? Can anyone,
any light contact or any form of handball decision is a penalty?
But is that still decisive to what a penalty actually is?
No, it's not.
No. So
no, it's not.
I think a penalty is not more based on the law. I think it's more based on who the referee is. I think, in my opinion, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a very good one. It's a good one for Manchester United in the end. But yeah, I mean, he does have to get off the mark at Old Trafford, to be fair. But
yeah, it was long overdue. Not winning at home.
Yeah, There are other games which I thought were very, very good. Obviously, we'll wait till Josh comes back to talk about Newcastle Chelsea, because Chelsea absolutely dominated that game. But I actually watched the BBC One game yesterday, Fulham Everton. I thought that was a very, very good game. Everton winning 3-2 in the end. But Nathan, it's the same old problems for Fulham. They just cannot defend to save their lives, can they?
No, they're just not signing the right players either. And, well, they've got two options. They either just sign loads of attackers. I mean, we've seen it with Bobby Reed, Mitrovic, all these different works of art coming in. Nothing at the back. I mean, they've got Le Marchand who's come along. Can't really name any of the other back line prolific players that they've signed. But apart from that, they try and get lower division players in, or they just constantly try and change it around, but they can't seem to get it to work. And that could be with Scott Parker's style of play. I mean, we saw it last season when we played against Fulham. It was constantly bringing back to the defence, passing rounds, waiting for something to go forward. Nothing ever goes forward, and then the press just overruns it, and then they're ending up on scoring. The style of play just doesn't work for them. That's one of the contributors, I think. But I think it's Scott Parker ball now, because we saw it in we saw it in the Premier League. I think that was mainly because of the defence and the team just couldn't gel. But now looking at Fulham and the way they've been playing for the last 2 seasons under Scott Parker, I think it's him and the style of play. It doesn't fit with the defence.
Just remember, all these guys said he was getting sacked first.
True.
Just saying.
Yeah, and Paul, Fulham can't take penalties, can they?
Big up David Marshall.
No. That's right. Yeah, well done, Scotland. Yeah, it's unbelievable as well that Fulham aren't in the relegation zone at the moment. What are they on? 4 points, 1 point more than West Brom. So I think their style of play, as Nathan touched on there, it's sort of slow, laborious from the back, and they just get done all the time. Okay, they did get a couple of goals on the weekend, but they're one of my relegation certainties, I think, to go down, especially with Burnley winning tonight as well. So. Yeah,
I think to be fair, I think everyone has probably got Fulham to be relegated. Chris Welsh with another fantastic point. My newly born niece can defend better than the whole Fulham defence. Quite possibly. Oh, here we go.
A team of geriatrics could defend better than Fulham.
Yeah. Josh. Newcastle 0, Chelsea 2. I apologise for getting that wrong. I had a feeling
Nathan and Paul will know from the group chat I have with them privately when I asked them to come on the podcast, and I was laughing very hard at you, Doug, for predicting that a Steve Bruce Newcastle team were going to beat us. No. No, like,
I know, where did that one come out?
What in the right mind did you think a Steve Bruce 5-4-1 Newcastle with Joe Linton up front was going to cause Chelsea any sort of problems? Listen,
they beat you last season.
That was last season. We've got a whole new squad this year. We don't have Capo. We've got Werder. We've got Havertz play. We've actually got a left back. We have a left back.
You know, can actually play football as well.
Simeone was actually playing up against a half-decent defender. Anyway, but Chelsea still were not particularly great. You could tell that the team were tired. Because an interesting fact, this would be quite surprising. Every single person who played in that game against Newcastle, who started against Newcastle, was on international duty and played on international duty. So we had 11 players who were tired, who were fatigued. But at the same time, we did the job. We probably could have scored more. I think if anyone's seen the highlights, Timo Werner definitely should have scored a few more. He should have scored at least 2. But Chelsea got the 3 points. That's all that matters. And to anyone who doesn't remember, I'm assuming everyone does know, because we're all football geeks here, aren't we? That's what we do. But on Sunday, we play Spurs.
Yes. Nice knowing you.
Yes.
Looking forward to that one, yeah.
That will be a cracking game.
Spurs 4, Chelsea 1.
Ooh.
Bold prediction.
Think Mourinho will go back to Stamford Bridge and win?
I generally think he will, yeah. And I don't want Spurs to win. I want it to be a draw. But sorry, mate.
Well,
they're going to thank you.
let's speak about the Spurs-Man City game, because I have to say, Man City were terrible. Absolutely terrible. I know they absolutely battered Spurs in possession, and I know they had so many chances, but what on earth was Ederson doing? I mean, Nathan and Paul, honestly, if you have seen Ederson many, many times, he does have a lot of times where he does come out very, very rashly, and he gives you the chance to score. And it's basically, to me, it's basically two mistakes by Ederson. That's basically won them the game.
Yeah, stay on his line, and there's no goal there for Son anyway.
Easily, they could have prevented that, and like you were saying earlier about the possession, I've said it a million times before. I've said it on our Premier League predictions show. I've said it in my vlogs many times before. I'm on my streams. Possession football, or possession in football at all, means nothing.
Yeah,
it's essentially a pointless stat. It may show you who's got the ball, but it doesn't show you who's the better team.
Yeah,
because I mean, you could have a team such as Fulham, which we have seen with Cardiff, getting 67, 70% possession and passing around the back for the whole game. Cardiff counter-attacking and scoring like 3 goals. So
here's the big question, and this is why I put Pep Guardiola in the thumbnail. This is the big question for everyone, and I want every single person, I want all 4 of these in the chat to answer this. Did City make a mistake giving Pep Guardiola an extension? Is Pep Guardiola at the end? Is it a poor squad, or has he simply been figured out by all the managers in the Premier League? Because is it, even when they've won games, they've only won by 1 goal, and they really had to work for it.
Well, let the rival go last. We'll let the rival go last.
Or do I really go deep? Did Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne carry Pep Guardiola? 2 players who've not been playing well or involved this year.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I am definitely going last.
I think City have lost their motivation. I actually think they may have lost their motivation. I don't know what it is, but like, they're now 8 points behind Liverpool and Spurs now. I mean, yeah, that is a big gap. That can be brought back to 5 because they do have a game in hand against Aston Villa. But then again, anything right now, Aston Villa are doing really, really well. So that could be really interesting. But I honestly don't know. I think City still have a very, very good squad. I think they're getting players in at the right time. Like Ferran Torres has been very, very good. But the thing with City, I think they've not got a consistent midfield. That midfield has changed from, I think, game after game after game. What do you think, Nathan? What do you think is going on with Manchester City?
Personally, I think this all started when they had the Champions League ban coming through. Hang on 2 seconds, let me turn that down because that's I'll get a little bit of feedback. But it started with the Champions League ban. Loads of the players got unmotivated. You have murmurs of certain players wanting to leave because they just couldn't cope with 2 seasons without Champions League football or European football. But I don't know, saying that it's a poor squad, it can't be when you spend millions upon millions each year. But you could counter that with saying that Man City are in a little bit of a transition period. I mean, you have outgoing players, you have Company going, you have David Silva going, core players, you have the leadership at the back, you have the core in midfield because you have Silva, Aguero, and Aguero, Silva, De Bruyne, and then whoever slots in that 3rd position. It would have been Fernandinho back in the day 2 years ago. Yeah. But coming from it now, you'll have Aguero leaving, I believe, is it the end of this year or next year?
From what I heard, he signed a long-term contract. It's a lifetime until they win the Champions League.
With his Zimmer frame, won't he?
He's leaving this year. Yeah, it's the end of this year. So they would have lost Company 2 seasons ago, David Silva last year, and Aguero this year at the end.
3 important players with leadership going in 3 years, which I think is just too much for them. They're trying to work something out in defence. There's no clear leadership there. I mean, yes, you do have your likes of Laporte. And Otamendi.
Who's the new defender?
Yeah, ignore that. Yeah, and then you defend Ruben Diaz. Yeah, couldn't pop into my brain there, but there's just no clear leader. They need that standout captain. I mean, Josh will like this one, John Terry. They need a John Terry in that back line. I mean, then you've got the likes of Mendy, who's just constantly injured all the time. But if they can get that clear leader at the back, get that clear consistency and players not getting injured with sort of that constant, stable player playing in midfield, their attack's completely superb. You can't question it. But get those two links in, you're in for potential Premier League title or Champions League winning.
I still think they need a little bit of freshening up. I think Aguero, maybe he should be on his way out of there. Bring something a little bit different up front. The back, Company at the back was a massive loss, obviously. I'm not sure what Diaz is like. Is he in the same sort of frame as Company? Probably not. They're not conceding that many goals. Okay, 2 goals against Spurs on the weekend, but prior to that, I think it was just sort of solitary goals in their last 5 or 6 matches. But maybe a consistent midfield, maybe bringing somebody else. Foden coming in, is he still too young? Maybe no, you don't think so, Reece? Maybe somebody else coming into the middle midfield, but I think they need a little bit.
No, I was saying no to that comment. Will City or PSG win the Champions League? No.
No. No chance.
Doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. You could have the best team in the world, best manager in the world. You can play against a very crap team and still get beat. Look at Leon.
True.
Plus, I think he's got a Trump complex. Very good. And yes, Chris. Thank you, Man City, for giving us James Milner. Or if Liz is still in the chat, James freaking Milner.
I don't want to hear his name.
Okay, Reece, have your say on Manchester City.
Here we go.
Oh, I like this. A point.
Getting ready.
Well, first of all, Plastic FC can sit below us in the league. Right. There is several issues with Man City at the moment, and they are don't get me wrong, they're still a good side. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot of inconsistencies in there, but no team in the Premier League at the minute is consistent. Even the top teams in the league, Liverpool aren't consistent either. And I don't care what any Liverpool fan says, you're no consistent, mate. But the difference is they're still getting the right results, whereas City are slipping up in games. And yes, Spurs at the moment are flying. They've had some very good performances. I think the likes of Højbjerg and Ndombele have finally settled. Obviously, Højbjerg was just signed this summer, so you would have to give him a little bit of a leeway. But like Ndombele, who has been slaughtered by Mourinho, and now he's really showing why they bought him in the first place. Son and Kane, best combination in the Premier League by a mile. And it shows week to week. I mean, Kane's not even playing as a centre forward anymore. He's playing as like a number 10. The way he's playing, it's almost like Teddy Sheringham did for Man United in the 90s. Like he's playing in that creative number 10, number 9 role, like that hybrid role, like a 9.5, like whatever it is.
He drifts around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's doing that a lot more. And I saw at half time, I don't know if you guys saw it, just before they done the second half when they restarted, is the average positions for every player that was like for the Spurs team versus the Man City team. Obviously, you would expect Man City to be in the opposition half, whereas Spurs were in their own. Harry Kane's average position was the halfway line, and Son was just behind him, and that says it all. Obviously, this is what Mourinho does. They have blistering moments. They hit you on the counter attack. They'll use long balls, but they will defend like a unit. And frankly, Mourinho, he might not be everyone's cup of tea, but the one thing that none of us can say, even though like I never liked his style at Man United, but he still won his trophies, is Mourinho, when he gets his style of play embedded in his players, they are successful. And the one key thing as well is this isn't Mourinho's first season. This is his second season, and it always proves Mourinho in his second season he gets some form of success.
Reece,
whether it's win a trophy or something. But
you just stole exactly what I was going to say there. I was literally going to say this theory about Mourinho the second season is literally and always correct.
Yeah,
always in the second season he does well.
He's always a success. I mean, yes, he won. Like in his first season at Man United, he won more than his second season. His first season, he won 3 trophies if you count the Community Shield. But some people don't. But some fans don't count it if Liverpool or Man City win it. But when Man United win it, they count it. So, like, we'll just go with that. In his second season, however, he finished second with a team that you wouldn't realistically expect to finish second. No one expected Man United to finish second, but he did, and it showed success with this team. But for Man City, the difference is and I go back to what I said, is Spurs are getting the result which they need if they want to win trophies, whereas Man City are slipping up. And Man City have got some good players, so I'm not going to take that away from them. They've got a fantastic style of play, which has been consistent in football for over a decade. And that goes back to his Barcelona days, but he is being found out. And I refer back to a comment I mentioned the last time I was on this show, my show. The comment I said to it is Mourinho's style of play. Once he gets figured out, you just need to break the first press, and you've got them.
Yeah.
And it was reiterated as it was said by Mika Richards, and then obviously, and then when I quoted it, what I also said was that his style of play is great to watch, but at times it's not going to get you anything. And this season, I don't know what they're going to get. Their goal is to, obviously, they'll want to regain the league title from Liverpool. But the Champions League is going to be the big thing. And I don't see it happening. And the reason I don't is because they've not got much leaders in that squad. They don't have set positions filled that they need. And lastly, they're not picking up key results. And that's the crucial point. Whereas Liverpool have lost their best players, but they're still winning. They're still winning games.
Yeah,
and that's the difference between winning a league and finishing second.
The one thing I can defend City on is injuries. They have missed Aguero for most of the season. Jesus has been injured a wee bit. They have had to rely on like Ferran Torres as well. And like last season, they had to rely on Laporte being out for a long time. This is the thing. I don't think it was a mistake to give Pep Guardiola a 2-year extension. No, I honestly don't. I think he is more hungrier to succeed, to try and get more success at Manchester City. And believe it or not, do not write them off. Do not write them off at all. I still think the title will be between Liverpool and City. I still do that. I still think that Chelsea, Spurs will probably drop off at some point. Arsenal are not going to be anywhere near Liverpool or Man City. So you have to. I mean, if Aguero does get fitter, then the guy scores goals. Scores goals. So
I think I hate to say it, but I think the injuries are probably going to ruin him. He's been injured so much over the last season and a half. He makes
a fair point there. Like yes, we haven't mentioned injuries, but to be fair, you can't. And I'm gonna counterpoint Pete here in this sense. So we'll see how he responds. Is you can't just refer to like you can still win games and score goals without injuries to your strikers, because they've still got fantastic forward players, but the difference is yes, they are missing Aguero, which is a big loss. Yeah, if Harry Kane gets in, I wouldn't even go as far as Kane. I would probably say Son. I would say Son is their most important player.
Son.
And it's the same for when I say Liverpool's most important player is Mane. You lose him forward wise. You've got nothing. And it's the same for United. We lose Fernandes. We're fucked. We are proper fucked.
I have a point to Pete. I feel like this is a kind of a prime example. I think you could use Liverpool as a perfect example. Pep Guardiola is stubborn. No matter how many injuries he gets, no matter how much they're losing. Like, if you look at his subs against Spurs, he didn't change the formation. He didn't change the style of play. He sticks with the same formation, the same style of play for 90 minutes straight. He doesn't change his thing. But like, if you look at Liverpool, who were in shape, Klopp and the team knew exactly how to play to fill in the missing voids. I just think there's a I think if Pep Guardiola knew how to change things, knew how to be not as stubborn, he could probably be able to solve the problems. Because like Chelsea had injuries at the start of the season, we did okay. Liverpool have a ton of injuries or problems. Liverpool are still winning comfortably. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's had a few injury problems. He's done fine, but Pep Guardiola is stubborn and won't change things. And I think it probably maybe there's a mixture of motivation, but I do think Pep Guardiola he needs to change things. I think Reece would probably maybe have a good example to Sir Alex Ferguson when he played the 4-4-2 and switched to the 4-3-3 to change things to enlighten a new style of play, a new identity, harder to figure out. I think Pep Guardiola needs to do something similar like that now, and I think he needs to stop keeping possession, because if you imagine if you've got City, if you're defending and you've got City in front of you playing it around the back, it's easy to defend. But imagine if City were like Way Lampard plays with Chelsea, and if City just moved the ball extremely quick going forward and be really direct running at you. That would be scary, and that would be hard to defend against. It's just like small things like that. I think Pep Guardiola probably has to deal with.
Yeah, you mentioned Sir Alex there, mate. I'm going to have to agree, and you can owe it back to two people. One is Mourinho coming in from Porto, was a fine example of changing your system. The one season where Mourinho won it in his first season, we played the 4-4-2, and it didn't get us anywhere. We finished third. We weren't even close to Arsenal. We weren't close. And then it was after the following season. Continue.
Sorry, Reece. Pete, I absolutely agree with you. I thought that came off his chest. I did not think that was handball.
It came off here, mate. In between the armpit and the upper forearm. It was literally right there.
Is that handball?
If you watch it, no,
Absolutely not.
If I've always went by, and this is my standing on foot, this is my stand on the handball rule, is anything above your shoulder line is not a handball. Below it, yes. So from the elbow down, I would consider that to be, or again, regions of a handball. Anything above that, no, because frankly, that means so many decisions you've got to knock back. Absolutely not. It's not a handball for me.
I thought that was a really bad decision by Mike Dean to go over to the monitor. It was a very good finish by Laporte, but Jesus was unlucky. For me, that wasn't a handball, and I think if that goes in, I think it's a completely different game. And as he says, Mourinho put 10 men behind the ball. Yeah, I mean, they counter-attacked really, really well.
True.
Yeah. They counter-attacked really, really well. So that's a big problem, is that Man City are, they are having to rely on Jesus, who has been, asked, can he replace Aguero? To be fair, Jesus has played better this season, I think. I think he is a lot better.
Yeah.
And I actually think if Aguero does get fit, then I'm pretty sure he will. Aguero's not finished. Aguero is not finished. I still think he has still got lots to prove. Manchester City. I think
if you watch football, no real football fan would say that Aguero's finished. Because if you think Aguero's finished, there's something wrong with you. Because he is still, without a shadow of doubt, he is still the best striker in the league. He is still the best number 9 in the Premier League. And yes, you could have a Harry Kane who gets you 30 goals a season, but Aguero scores in key games more than Harry Kane does. And Firmino isn't much of a striker. He's more of I wasn't even sure what to class him. Maybe as an attack. Obviously, everyone says he's a defensive striker, but I would say he's more of an attacking midfielder than a striker, Doug. But that's obviously you're a Liverpool fan. And I saw Chris. He's a Liverpool fan. They'll be able to comment on that. I don't think he's a striker. I think he's an attacking midfielder.
To be fair, if you watch the Liverpool Leicester game, I'm still bewildered how he missed that chance to, basically he took the ball really well, turned very well away from Fofana, hit the post, and then the next game minute, it's like something you would see on FIFA. It's actually something like you would see on FIFA. Very, very strange defending, and yet the I mean, it was a millimeter away, or was it 10 millimeters away from being a goal? That is how close it was. But I was made up for him getting the third.
George with comment of the night, just saying.
Next season, the best number 9 will be Erling Haaland in the United shirt.
No chance.
You can shut it, let it. No, but in all fairness, yeah, and Aguero isn't finished. The problem with Aguero is he keeps getting these injuries that he's changed his diet more times than anyone's probably changed their socks, and he just cannot seem to keep himself away from these injuries. It's the same with Harry Kane. He cannot get away from these ankle injuries, and eventually it's going to get to the point where one of the greatest of all time had to retire due to ankle injuries. Van Basten in 1995. He was forced to retire an ankle injury, and he was only, 28, 29 years old. He's one of the greatest strikers of all time. Yeah. He only played, 13 years of professional football? And that says it all. Like, these sort of injuries are going to eventually cost Aguero his career, and Aguero has still got maybe 3 or 4 years at the top still, if he can get away from these injuries. He's a phenomenal player, so I wouldn't take any credit away from him. Like, he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I don't know how he's never won a Golden Boot. I don't know how he's never been nominated. I don't think he's ever won a Player of the Year when he's deserved it on 1 or 2 occasions. And lastly, has he ever been included in a Team of the Year? I don't think he has. That says it all.
Once, I think. Once. I don't know if he has. I think it was last season he was in the Team of the Year. Or the season before.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen him in a Team of the Year. If anyone in the chat, or even like Josh, if you can check me, I do not recall Aguero being in a Team of the Year. And frankly, if any player from the twats that I would say deserve it, it's him over De Bruyne. And De Bruyne's a great player, but still, I would Aguero deserves that sort of recognition because he's a fantastic player, and he's also a fantastic person.
Do you not hear Aguero when he scored the goal against QPR for you to lose the league?
Fuck off.
Aguero.
As much as I want to hang you for that comment, like, sadly, like, there were some results in that season that cost us. The one result that for me that lost us the title, it wasn't the hammering we got, which I'm not going to say the scoreline because it makes me sick. I think the game that cost Man United the league is the game we won the following season, and that was the game against Everton. I think it was at Goodison Park when we stupidly dropped points. If we hadn't dropped points, we would have won the league.
Oh yeah,
and that says it all. If you can, it was Everton, yeah, and then we played the following weekend. It was the following season. It was the roles reverse. City lost to Southampton. City lost to Southampton. It was a week before we were screwed by Real Madrid in that fucking referee. It was never a red card.
Yeah.
We got screwed, and then we ended up going out and battering Southampton. We won our game after Southampton done us a favour. Yeah, just don't.
I like that.
Joey Barton.
I like that.
Joey bastard Barton.
Aguero actually made Team of the Year in 17 to 18 season. So
it was his only. He was in it. He was in it.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
Pete, what was crazy was the Balotelli toe poke was the only assist he had for Man City, and it was a winning one. Unbelievable. Why always me, as they say as well. I suppose we should speak about Liverpool.
You just had to go there.
There's a flop. Balotelli at Liverpool as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
That was entertainment.
Hands down.
But Liverpool 3, Leicester 0. I mean, I was absolutely shocked at how poor Leicester were. But you have to say that Nathan and Paul, come to you first for this one. Were you surprised at how much respect Leicester gave Liverpool in that game?
Yeah, way too much. I mean, especially with the injuries and stuff, even though Liverpool, that team was still strong regardless. So happy to see Nico Williams playing as well for you, coming on as a sub later on in the game. But they just gave too much respect to him. I mean, you had the likes of Vardy, Tielemans, strong side for Leicester right then. They didn't have Castan, they didn't have certain key players, but pretty strong squad. Gave too much respect. and Diogo Jota, aka signed into the season in the Premier League, just running by storm. And I don't too much respect. They didn't go for it. I bet they went there just to find a draw or something. Not go there aiming right. We're going to put all our eggs into one basket. We're going to win this.
Yeah.
Didn't go in with that mentality. Went out to lose 3-0.
It says it all, really, that their mentality was different for Man City compared to Liverpool. I mean, the way that they tore Man City apart, and then they go and play Liverpool, and they played like Norwich City from last season.
I thought all the talk all week
just did nothing.
All the talk all week was going to be a Leicester win, but Klopp must have been fired up throughout the week. This is something we've got to win. You've got players on the pitch who are not, in the team all the time. Was it Navigator? I think was in the centre midfield as well. Doug? So Milner was on right back as well. So
I genuinely thought it was going to be a closer game than that. I genuinely thought it was going to be close. I didn't think Leicester would. I didn't think Leicester would win. I wanted Leicester to win, but I thought it would be a lot closer. I did not expect a 3-0 win. I thought it was going to be like 1-0 or 2-1.
Just a goal in it. Just a goal in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely thought it'd be that close, but by God, Leicester were shocking. They don't deserve any form of good performances. Like even Gary Lineker tried to give them some form of praise on Match of the Day. You can't praise that, mate. Like, I don't know what you're smoking or what's in those walkers, mate, but they weren't it wasn't a good performance.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked. I was absolutely shocked at the end of the result because I didn't think we were going to. I thought we would win. Like I said, a 2-1 win. I thought Leicester would score first, and then I thought we would come back because that was the first half lead that we have had all season. It was against Leicester, but I mean Jota. First player in Liverpool history to score in his first 4 home games. And you think of the players that we've had: Luis Suarez, Fernando Torres, Ian Rush, John Aldridge,
Andy Carroll.
He's beaten,
they're all shite, mate.
But
Andy Carroll.
it's just absolutely amazing that he's the one that's actually broken that record. And Liverpool are now 64 games unbeaten.
You know what I think the difference is? You know what I think the difference is between Jota and all those players? You know what I think the key difference is? His mentality. I think he had the mentality where if he plays, he scores every game. I don't think Suarez had that at Liverpool. Even though Suarez scored goals, I don't think he had that mentality at all. I don't think Torres had it. I don't think... But look at Jota. Whenever he gets... don't get me wrong, Jota wasn't much of a goal scorer at Wolves, but he still got a certain amount of goals and assist contributions for the seasons he played, including the Championship. He did have impressive records, but they weren't exactly stellar. But... He has certainly settled in well to this Liverpool team, and he's given Mane a run for his money as well, which not many people expected as well. You got to remember that.
Liverpool should have kept Andy Carroll.
No, Liverpool should have kept Roy Hodgson.
Yeah,
and Gillette.
Roy Hodgson and Andy Carroll.
To be fair, he has been impressive for them. I can't say much other than that. He has been impressive, but it's just the fact he plays for Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I was made up. I was absolutely made up for Firmino scoring, because if there was any game that he would want to score, it would be this one, because he's got a great record against Leicester. But yes, Josh, I'm not letting you get away with predicting Leicester to win 3-0.
I said 3-0 Liverpool.
I'm not letting you get away with it.
I said 3-0 Liverpool.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you did not.
I did.
Here we go again.
Bullshit.
I totally said 3-0 Liverpool. Let me just get it on my phone.
Josh, just wait 1 second. Just wait 1 second. What's that? Oh, I smell bullshit. Call it, mate. Just like your combined 11's going to catch you.
Oh, you just wait for that. You wait for that.
Ah, mate, just like our 20 league titles, you're not winning this.
Moving swiftly on. Atletico Madrid beat Barcelona by 1-0. Yannick Carrasco, remember him? He scored the winner for Atletico Madrid. And this was
I have to say a very interesting fact. This is actually going to surprise everyone, unless people already know this. That was the first time Simeone has ever bet Barcelona at his time as Atletico Madrid manager.
That's amazing.
The closest he came was that title winning season 6 years ago.
That's the first time Simeone ever bet a Barcelona side as an Atletico Madrid manager in any competition.
Yeah. I mean, saying that, it's been absolutely appalling for Barcelona in itself. They've only had 11 points this season, I believe, out of the opening 8, which is their worst start since 1981.
No.
The fact as well that this is the team to win. This is the so-called team that's going to win the league against the so-called team that never wins the league, and that's Atletico. And Atletico literally came out, played the perfect game, kept them nullified, dominated that game, and then Carrasco rolled up and nutmegged Ter Stegen. They put that in his hole and spoke about it another day later. It was a very impressive game. That's one thing. I'm not a particular fan of defensive football, but if you win at all costs. You win at all costs. Do I think they're going to win the league though? Yeah. I'm still gonna go back to my original point, and I'm still going to say no. And the reason I'm going to say no is Diego Simeone's style of play is going to probably be his downfall. Unless he lets them be more offensive, I don't know. But at the minute, I'm still going to, unless they win games and if they win 1-0 every game, and then fair enough. But other than that, I don't see them win the league.
Yeah, they recently they won 4-0, 3-1, 2-0, 2-0. So they are actually scoring a few goals now. So.
If they are, then fair enough. But this is just a COVID season.
I would say that season, in between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, was a really interesting tactical battle. But I can't say that because I don't think Koeman had tactics that game. I think I'm going to say this. I honestly think Barcelona may slowly start regretting sacking Valverde because he was the only manager who got the best out of that Barcelona team. They've tried Setien, they've tried Koeman. It ain't working. It ain't working at all.
I feel for Koeman, and I feel for him because he is actually a good manager. He just doesn't get a lot of respect, but he has not had a good season at Barcelona. So I can't really defend that. He's certain games they've just not turned up. I mean, they had a better team than the Juventus team, and they got torn apart. And it says all that they're just not. I don't know why he's playing the 4-2-3-1 with this Barcelona team. He's inhibiting them. I don't know if it's because it's defence. That is such a bad one. Nah, I'm sorry, I just can't know that one. Come back with another one because that's just Jesus. That's worse than most dad jokes.
I do agree. I think the 4-2-3-1 with Barcelona is not a formation.
It doesn't work.
Barcelona formation, and then there are 4-3-3, maybe even a 3-4-3. I think a 3 at the back with their centre backs would probably be a way to go because they've got no pacey centre backs at all. So I think you need that extra pair of legs at the back to try and cover that space.
I mean, maybe you could say Longley with a bit of pace, but that's about it.
Yeah. So I think Barcelona. I think the expectation. You're always, especially in our league, will always have expectations high at Barcelona. But without a shadow of a doubt, they're in a transition period with a manager, with a squad, and also now with a president. So, I think.
Godin's header.
I think in that case, you probably do have you definitely have a big transition period with Barcelona. So I think your expectations are always higher Barcelona, but I'm going to go as far to say this is when I actually think Barcelona's expectations this year are the equivalent of what Manchester United's are. If I'm being realistic, I feel like that's the level they're at the moment. I think Messi looks extremely unhappy, and I think he cannot wait for the day that he can leave. I don't think he can wait until January. We can start talking to the other clubs. He's been
left out of the Barcelona squad to face Dynamo Kiev tomorrow. I
did hear about that.
I genuinely think, and I'm going to say this now, it's going to be controversial, so I'm probably going to get slaughtered in the chat here. I think it's the best decision Koeman's made. I think leaving Messi out of this team to play Dynamo Kiev is the best decision he's going to make. And the reason I'm saying this is, yes, he's a phenomenal goal scorer, and I refer back to Paul Pogba on this one, I'm going to use this as a comparison here. If a player's not suiting your style or your particular play, and you continuously choose to accommodate him to keep him happy, it's not going to work. So frankly, your better decision is who's bigger, the club or your player? It's always the club. You've got to make these difficult decisions. So I applaud him for leaving Messi out. I applaud him for it. He shows he's got balls, because Valverde couldn't do it. Setien couldn't do it. Koeman's came in. He's a club legend, by the way. He is also a club legend. He's came in. He's like, nope, you're not in the squad, and that's a ballsy move, because Zidane didn't even do it for Real Madrid, by the way. And Ronaldo had poor games as well, and that's a fact. Like, Ronaldo had poor games, but he still got things. He still got things done. But even so, if a player's in form and it's still your best player, you've got to take the risk, because that shows your interest as a manager. It shows that you're more committed to your job than just fitting in like a world-class player. That's what a manager should be about. You make ballsy decisions.
Just on that comment, if you listen to what Ronald Koeman's press conferences have been like recently, he sounds like he's getting really pissed off with this whole situation. He's getting really pissed off with this whole situation with Messi and Messi leaving. Or like, I feel like maybe he thinks that's a fact in the dressing room in some shape or way. Because we all know what the power Messi has within Barcelona and what he has in the dressing room. So, in that situation, I think Koeman is probably he sounds like he's getting pissed off with the whole situation. And Messi's performances have not been good this season. He hasn't turned up in any single game at all. There's no game you can say, yep, Messi turned up in this. So in this case, I think in this situation, Messi, if you also look at the facts, Messi does not like Koeman. He did not want Koeman anywhere near Barcelona. So this whole chemistry between the two has not been good even before Koeman got hired. Messi was a big fan of Valverde before he got the chop. So I think for the sake of, I think Barcelona need to look at it instead of keeping Messi for being the big name he is. I think they seriously have to get rid of him.
I genuinely think if you ask Messi what did Koeman do for Barcelona in their history as a player, he would be like, I've never heard of him, and I would just turn around and be like, mate, you never won a you never won a European Cup until 1992, and who won it for you? It was Koeman's free kick from the edge of the box. Like, he gave you your history, mate. Like, it was him and Cruyff that gave Barca pretty much their history.
Johan Cruyff.
Yeah, whatever Messi's done, whatever Guardiola's done, yeah, great. But it was for that. It was for that team from 1988 to 1994, like that dream team scenario, whatever it was. Like, that was the team that built Barcelona, and that's what we need to remember. And I agree with Josh, and I also agree with Pete's comment about Dele Alli. Like, Mourinho, he used him at first, but then he realised, actually, hold on, you're a bit of a shit attitude player, mate. Obviously, I've seen the comments on the all or nothing, which is pretty much how you sum up Spurs, all or nothing, when they go for trophies. It does say all, like, if you have an attitude like that in a player, you cannot keep them in that squad. It will just bring it down. Messi earns £38 million a year. You can invest that in key things. They've totally they've neglected what they're all about. They neglected the La Masia. La Masia is what Barcelona's all about. They neglected it. Now they're all about Galactical signings, and it's like, you can have a marquee signing or one or two big signings, but you should stick to your club values, what brought you to the dance. And Barcelona went against that, and it came back to haunt them.
So my question to everyone in the chat, and this is a question to everyone in the chat and to my guests here. I will start with Nathan. Is this Simeone's title to lose?
Yes, definitely, especially with the way that Real Madrid and Barcelona have been playing this season. Is this Simeone's title to lose?
No.
I'd probably say so, yes. Especially, with the way that they made the signings this season and the way that Barcelona and Real Madrid have been playing. This is the one that they need to go for. Just like they did in 2013-14, this is the one. This is the one that they have the best chance of winning, probably for a while, especially when Barcelona saw everything out behind the scenes. Same with Real Madrid. once they come out of this transition period, this is the time, especially bringing in the likes of Suarez, these key players, the glimpses of quality that will get them over the line and get them to win La Liga.
The one thing they need, and this is like we're all going to agree here as well, and myself included, because I'm not a fan of Suarez. But one thing I will say is he has something that certain clubs don't lack, and that's a winning mentality. He's got that. He is a winner. Like he's won at Barcelona. He's won far too much, but he's rightfully so. He's earned that with his contributions to the club. Albeit he stayed there a bit longer than he should.
Yeah,
I'd say 1 or 2 years more. But he has certainly, in the games that mattered, he scored important goals. He led them to the important wins. The Champions League was an example 5 years ago. Like that importance, like that winning mentality drives a club forward. And the biggest loss I think they did contribute to was letting go of Godin. Now, obviously, they had to let him go because they were bringing through some very good defenders like Hermoso. Jimenez is still there. He's present. He's still a young guy. I think he's 28, 29 years old. So he's still good to go. He's in his prime years as a centre back. 27 to 31 is roughly the prime age for a centre back. So it says it all. If they maintain that, they've got a good chance. So yeah, that winning mentality of Suarez is going to be crucial, especially beside Diego Costa as well. That's a very scary front too.
I think Godin was definitely the right decision to go because he struggled to play under Conte last year, even in a slower league in Italy.
He was struggling. He was struggling.
I think Atletico was struggling. The decision to let him go.
Oh yeah, he was struggling. He was struggling. I'm not going to take that away. I'm just going to quickly say this before I pass back to Nathan. I'm not taking away like Godin did struggle at Inter Milan. Like that's a fact. He got replaced by a 16-year-old centre back. Says it all. But what I'm saying is like he didn't have to play, but he could have had him just there as like roam around the bench, use him from like games where it mattered. Like play him against Real Madrid, or play him against Sevilla, play him against Valencia, play him against Villarreal, play him against Real Sociedad, and then play him against Barcelona. You don't have to play him in every game, but those key games win you points as well. You could have used them in them and rest a key player and then bring them back in. But of course, it was the right decision by Conte to move him on. It was the right move, and it was the right thing for Simeone to let him go. But he's replaced a winning centre back with a winning centre forward, and that's exactly what they needed. Because Costa's not a winner. Like he isn't really. Like he won stuff at Chelsea, he won stuff before Atletico, but he isn't really a winner. Suarez is, and I hate him, but he is a winner.
Suarez loves to win, but adding on from that, from them transitioning to a striker anyway and getting rid of Godin. Getting rid of Godin was a fantastic decision, especially with the way that Atletico seems to want to transform their defence. They've already got 3 important players that are going to be phenomenal in the next 2-3 beyond years. You mentioned it, Jimenez. Hermoso looks fantastic.
Renan Lodi actually been all right. I've underestimated Trippier. Yeah, Lodi's been fantastic. He's now the starting left back for Brazil. He's ahead of Telles, ahead of Marcelo, he's ahead of Alexandro. That says it all, really. Like, and it's unexpected, and credit to him.
But some of his performances,
I didn't think Trippier would be a good move. And he's got. Is it still for Schalke? If I've pronounced his name wrong, sorry. I think he's Croatian.
Yeah.
Like if I said your name wrong, sorry. You can slaughter me. Yeah, you can slaughter me later. I'm not good at pronouncing their names.
The thing is, Kieran Trippier is a great squad player. We saw it at Tottenham. Yeah. We've seen it in the England squad as well. The 2018 World Cup. Don't mention that anymore. Personal reasons. But if they can get Trippier playing around in a squad player, providing great cover there, and getting a quality right back, I'm thinking around the leagues, youngster. If you're looking at Ananda Kappa, I believe Atletico Bilbao. Or someone of that caliber, quite pacey, matching him with Renan Lodi, because you're talking extreme. Well, he's so quick on the. If you get really quick,
do not mug off my favorite player, for fuck's sake. favorite player in my Liga. This is abuse. You know what I will say is like this is an outside bit, and I'm saying this because I remember my when I was first appearance on the show. Like I said, I didn't think Atletico Madrid were going to win it. I was quite consistent. But the team I thought that may win it was Sevilla, and it's just because you just cannot rule them out. But I am starting to think actually Atletico, I think, could win this league. Real Madrid are the favourites, hands down. They are the favourites to win it. There is no bigger favourite in that league because it's not Barcelona. It's definitely Real Madrid. And outside, you mentioned right backs, and I think Simeone, he likes him and Mourinho have got the sense of they like the wingers. They like wingers are playing as fullbacks, whatever. They're just a creative fullback going forward, and they don't mind how old he is, just as long as he can get forward, he can get a cross in. I would go as far to say, even if it's for a year or two, bit of a risky move, I would try and tempt Jesus Navas into the squad. And I know that's a bit like a bold decision, but I think he showed it last year. He showed it last season how effective he is for a 33-year-old. And I know, 33, who cares? But Suarez is 32, 33.
Yeah.
And you've got a winner in there.
True.
Jesus Navas has got experience of winning some of the best trophies. I would honestly have him in there, but obviously if he wants to go young, there are some very good options. I would go as far as Leipzig's Mukiele. He's a fantastic option. I would also look towards, it's the young right back I'm thinking of. He plays for PSG, Kehrer. I think he's one of them. I would look to him, which is a bit of a weird. But that's all.
Just remember who is top of the league at the moment in La Liga.
Sociedad.
Sociedad. They're a fantastic side.
Could they somehow pull off the shock?
Yes. Yeah, they can. I've got no doubts about that. I mean, I think they've got the balance in midfield sorted, and they've got, in my opinion, the best winger in the league in Oyarzabal. He has been absolutely on fire, and I'm surprised no one's went in for him. Like, another player I think's underrated, but he doesn't play for either of these teams. I think he's extremely underrated. Is Iago Aspas?
Oh yeah,
I think for any of these bigger teams, and no disrespect to Celta Vigo, but he is much better than them. He is the reason they stay up every season. Like, he deserves a move to a big. He deserves one big. I know he's 34, but
look at Jamie Vardy.
He deserves that move. Like, he deserves even one last hurrah. Because look at Maxi Gomez for Atlanta. Like, he's absolutely phenomenal, and he's only just getting touched by a big move now, but he's still there.
Yeah, like,
and that says it all.
Leading from what you were saying as well, Reece, if you look at Sociedad's front line, if they get that striker and they get someone like an Iago Aspas to link up with Oyarzabal and Christian Portu as well, don't get me wrong, Christian Portu has been great. That attacking line, easily in Champions League every season, if they can improve further back, hands down.
And Silva behind them. Have they still got Alexander Isaac? He's a player that I rate. I think he's a very good striker. He just doesn't get enough credit. The young Swedish boy.
I'll have a look quick.
Like, he's a young, very fast striker. He gets let off by it. He's a good striker as well. Like, he's a good backup striker.
Yeah, he plays for Sociedad.
Okay.
On you go, mate.
I still think they've got. I still think they've got Martin Odegaard as well. I could.
No, he's at Real Madrid, mate. He's back at Real Madrid, mate. They recalled him as soon as the season started.
Is he back at Real Madrid?
He is.
Yep. Hell's in the chat. Hell can confirm that. I mean, but I know I've watched a few games. Like, he was he played in the El Clasico game as well. But yeah, like, I'm sure Odegaard got recalled at the start of the season, which is not allowed, by the way. Like, Real Madrid had no recall clause.
Paul, what do you think? He's winning La Liga?
Well, yeah, Madrid. Well, Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, but Real Sociedad. Yeah, they've got a chance. But at this stage, I think I'll have to go for Atleti.
All right, Peter, you've redeemed yourself for the Cruz comment. I'll let you off. You've redeemed yourself.
So unbeaten, know how to defend. Yeah. As you said earlier, basically throw away, really. So,
absolutely.
Right, we have to move on, and obviously because Nathan and Paul are here, we have to talk Cardiff City. It has been a bit of a mixed start to the season. I'm just seeing it here. So you've won 3 games, drawn 5, and lost 4, and you got 14 points. What have you made of your start to the season?
I'll let you start with this one. I started last one, so.
Wow. From the majority of the fans' point of view, they're not happy. Although I don't think it's as bad as everybody's saying. But a little bit of a transitional period. Okay, the end of last season, we did really well. We got into the playoffs and everything. And I think expectations this season are we're going to be challenging for the top 2, but doesn't always work that way. We have brought in like Kiefer Moore, Harry Wilson. He's done well, but it's been really stop-start. The way we play, we're changing the way we play as well. Since Warnock's gone out, it's been, we're trying to play a lot more on the ground and play, a lot more passing, etc. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. There's people already calling for Harris's head, but we've got to give him the whole season. But in the last 3 games, we played a very good Barnsley team who were playing really well. We beat them 3-0. Played Bristol City. Stupid mistake. We've been making individual mistakes in defence for quite a while now. They've got to be ironed out, but we just couldn't score then, finish off Bristol City with a better team. And then on the weekend, stupid mistake. We were terrible in the first half against Millwall. Early goal put us back on the back foot. And second half, we changed it around a bit. Josh Murphy came on, added a bit of pace. And there was only one team that we were going to win that after Murphy put Kiefer Moore to equalise. After that, it was all Cardiff then. So we're not firing on all cylinders at the moment. We're in 15th position, but I think these next 3 or 4 games are really, really important.
They're crucial.
Just on that comment, we all know that the Championship is one of the closest league ever. You could win your next 3 games and you could be in a playoff spot. So I think the start of your season, given what the Championship is, isn't really bad. I don't think you can say it's bad. I think it's extremely hard to get a consistent record in that Championship.
Oh, very.
I think it's ridiculously hard.
Especially during the COVID crisis, even building in any league, building consistency, unless you're Rangers, but we won't go there. That's right.
Well, with the fans not being in the state, Cardiff especially, the fans are worth quite a few points at home. When the fans get a behind the team at the Cardiff City Stadium, then they can keep the balls out at one end and drive the players on at the other end. So we just need to get back as soon as we can.
Not looking likely though for Wales.
Not in Wales anyway. Maybe in England by the sounds of the news today, but not in Wales for the time being.
I'm just having a wee look at looking at the table. You're only 4 points off 8th place. It's so tight down there. It really is so tight. Coventry haven't started the season as well as many people have predicted. But the big news in the Championship, I don't know if you or Nathan have seen this, but Derby County have possibly appointed Big Sam as their new manager.
I really thought it was going to be Rooney, especially when he took over temporarily as like an interim player manager in the last one. Didn't entirely. I don't think entirely worked out.
Doesn't he?
He wants to play. He wants to end the season there, but
stick on a schedule. That's the way the show works.
Honestly, I was really shocked that Big Sam would go down to the Championship. I think it's because of the reluctance of Sackins in the Premier League. But I don't know. I think he was looking at Derby saying they're too big to go down to League One, especially with the squad they have. I mean, they have David Marshall, who does, he's incredible.
He probably lives in the area as well, doesn't he? So
yes, sir.
Easy enough.
I can boogie.
Really?
Sorry.
No Scotland, no party can go. No Scotland, no party. That can go. Absolutely. I mean, as a Man United fan, it's good to see Wayne Rooney doing something. Obviously, as a Man United legend, it's good to see him at Derby, but frankly, I don't think he's I think till the end of the season, yes. But I don't think he is I don't know if he's the best long-term for Derby. I think you do need a sort of experienced manager that knows the league. I would go as far as maybe changing your style. I think I would maybe go as far as saying, I might get killed. I would maybe go Tony Pulis. Or I would go Pulis or Allardyce, and it's because you need. I wouldn't go as far as Warnock, because that's like saying you want to have an aneurysm. We don't want that, because I like Derby.
They're doing well again this season.
Pulis is at Sheffield Wednesday.
Warnock, this is the last season, so I don't think that'll happen anyway. But...
honestly, Warnock, when Warnock speaks, oh god, it's that bad. Like,
I love it.
I think you do need that sort of mentality, and obviously, as a Man United legend, I wish Rooney well at Derby as a manager. But I think you do need an experienced head. It was unfortunate that Philip Koeman was sacked, but frankly, the results speak for themselves. So it was never going to realistically stay.
Yeah.
Alternatively, another manager who has got a little bit of excitement. For fuck's sake, a little bit of excitement. There are some managers, like, I don't know if he's still on a job. So correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched much of the Championship this season. I've not had much of an opportunity. Is Chris Hughton managing anybody?
Yes, Forest.
Yeah, for fuck's
Not
sake.
Forest.
Managing them lot. Yeah,
Nigel Pearson's another name there as well.
Yeah, like, there's so many good managers. Like, if I had to choose the manager for Derby, I think my first choice probably would be Chris Hughton. I think he's a very underrated manager. I think he's got experience. Yes, you want somebody who knows how to get a club promoted, like say Allardyce, Warnock, or Tony Pulis. You would want that, but you also want someone who's got a good rapport with people. Allardyce doesn't particularly have a good rapport with people, with anyone he's coached. He doesn't particularly have that. Whereas Chris Hughton does. And the fact that there's and another point I want to make up, and this is not going through agendas or anything, but there's specific groups that aren't being given representation as football managers, and I think that's another issue. I think certain managers are being overlooked in specific ways, and I'm not going to go down any route because that's not for me. That's not for me to discuss. That's for the Premier League, the FA, and all that to decide. But if I had to say get a manager, I would 100% just go to Forest or whoever it is and just be like, can we just have your manager and we'll pay whatever to take him? I would take Chris Hughton. I think he'd be perfect for Derby.
But here's a question. Here's a question for Nathan and Paula. And you guys know the Championship. So the current top six is Norwich, Bournemouth, Bristol, Swansea, Watford, and Reading. So Norwich are top of the league again in the Championship. Daniel Farke's doing what he can do in the Championship. But who's automatically going up, and who do you think could possibly win the playoff? Early days, but early day predictions are always fun.
Well, I've been wanting Derby got for the past 5 years, so I'm just rolling them out now.
Yeah, Derby, no chance. Mid-table. It's so hard to predict. Hands down with the way they've been playing. I'm gonna go first. Sorry. Watford definitely going up.
Hope not.
I can really see with the way they've been playing, watching them, especially with other sides and with the Championship, and well, you can lose any game. Just with the way it's going, Watford. And then second place could be anyone.
The one club the one club that deserved a promotion last year that won't make it this year was Brentford.
I agree.
They deserved it last year. They're not getting it this year.
No,
they're in a rebuild.
The only reason I said no to Watford is because, and I said the exact same thing about Brighton when they sacked Chris Hughton, and he saved them. Is Nigel Pearson had got them out, like pretty much. I think he got them out of the relegation zone. I think they were out by the relegation zone by a point, and then they sacked them. Then they got rightfully relegated for their stupidity. Yeah. So any club that does that to a manager who pretty much had them saved, for me, does not deserve to be back in the Premier League. That's why I wanted Brighton to get relegated. But if you win this league convincingly, if you win the Championship, which is the hardest league to, like, games wise, it is one of the hardest leagues in football. I would like the deserving winner. If Watford win it deservedly, perfect. Bring them up. I'm not sure who else particularly could win.
I think Norwich
the league.
Pretty decent at the moment.
I don't think it's going to be Norwich.
Have they still got Farke as manager?
Yes, as it stands at the moment.
To be fair, I like him as a manager, but I don't see him doing much. I think their approach to the Premier League last year was bad. I know they didn't have much of a budget, but they got promoted. They had a bit more money than that to invest. So I think the excuse of we didn't have money to invest into their squad is a bit ridiculous.
Well, what about you, Paul, then? Who's going up?
Well, I think Watford, possibly Norwich, and I think Stoke are a bit of a dark horse there. They've had a lot of injuries, etc. They've been sort of milling around the last few years, not doing a lot. But they're just outside the playoffs at the moment, looking really good. So they would possibly, my dark horse is really to get into that top 6 and possibly go up via the pre.
I'd like them to get promoted for one reason. If Man City get Messi, we'll find out if we can truly play there on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's right.
I would love that. And
I do wins at the Britannia as well. The wind around the Britannia.
Hard stadium.
I do have to say this to Paul and Nathan. From Northern Ireland, we obviously Michael O'Neill, who did absolutely wonders with the Northern Ireland squad. He has changed that Stoke City team around, hasn't he? He's made
massive around.
And I would love
too long.
I would love to see Michael O'Neill, who I will love until the death of me, who made me enjoy watching Northern Ireland and made us have parties at the Euro 2016 finals. I would love to see him in the Premier League. And if he makes it, if the guy gets that Stoke City team into the Premier League, especially through the playoffs, he's one of the most underrated managers, I think, in Europe. If he somehow does it, I'd love that man to pieces.
Yeah, I think he's underrated now.
If they didn't let go of Michael O'Neill, if Michael O'Neill didn't take the Stoke job, Northern Ireland would have been at Euro 2021.
That's right.
It would have been but yeah, I deservedly so. Credit to Michael O'Neill. I wasn't sure because I couldn't remember how long it had been since he coached at club football. That's how long it's been.
The last club he managed was the team of the Republic of Ireland when he got Dundalk. He won the league with Dundalk and took them into the European. He got them to the Europa League group stages. That's the last time he ever.
Because a lot of people think we'll get to that in a second. I just want to say this as well. Because another example of that is managers are doing well at international football, but may not be able to turn it around. The likes of Joachim Low and Didier Deschamps, they are controversial in the sense of one likes to pick his nose, but he still has a fantastic football philosophy, and that's Joachim Low, and the other's just a prick, and that's Deschamps. I don't think they could coach club football. I genuinely think they would struggle.
I think players would want to punch Deschamps in the head. He's a typical French guy.
I'd love every comment. Every time international football comes along and I see his comment, I just want to whack him. But going back to where Swansea finished, I wasn't sure at the start of the season. I was looking at where they were playing based on last season. Which one's a Swansea fan? Any is a Swansea fan?
Neither of us.
No.
Good. We can
absolutely not.
Good.
I think they're overachieving at the moment. So
massively.
I'm gonna go as far as Swansea are finishing 14th.
Right. So since folks left us, I'll.
Cardiff are finishing 10th.
So Reece, Reece, I have to quickly ask. I'm gonna ask the most simple question in the world. This is Rangers League to lose, doesn't it?
Fuck yes. They're the only team left in the whole of Scotland. In fact, I'll just rephrase that. They're the only team left in the UK that have not lost a game. They're the only team in the UK to have never lost a game this season. That is championship winning mentality. That is what has turned around.
Yeah.
This is Rangers League to lose, and if there's Celtic fans in here, cry. Just cry.
I think
I predicted 2-2 against Hibs as well, by the way.
3 goals against as well in 15 matches. That's super.
That's phenomenal.
Without you being completely biased, I want you to answer this as a neutral. Take your Rangers heart out of this.
I will take the heart out of it. I will take it out.
Do you really think Celtic? At this moment in time will be contemplating sacking Neil Lennon? Do you think it's in their minds?
I genuinely so based on that then. So even if Celtic change their manager, they're 11 points behind Rangers with 2 games in hand. So that's going to put them up to about 5 points behind them. That's still not enough. But yes. The one thing that matters is if Celtic pull the trigger now, they might stand a chance of bridging the gap. But they're not going I don't think they're going to win the league. I love this guy. I don't. Even if Celtic change their manager, I don't see them winning anything. I genuinely think that if Rangers seriously keep playing the way they're playing, they're winning everything this season, and they're going to go far in the Europa League as well. They're going to win this group.
Do Doug or you? Do any of you two know at all why Upton Edward? Oh, yes,
Josh,
go ahead.
Sorry. Pete wants to know: can Nathan or Paul answer the question above, which was
Nathan's answer is obvious.
I'm American, but my question about the championship is there a salary cap in the championship?
There isn't a salary
should
cap
be.
got there in the end.
There should be
because the broad difference of it. I mean, if you looked a few seasons ago, you had players being paid 100k, and then you had other players on like $2,000 a week. There should be in that league. There's such a broad difference of it, but the rule is for it. It's exactly the same as the Premier League. If you spend more than you earn, you're going to get in trouble. But the way it works in the Championship is how serious you break it. So, I mean, we've been victim to it in the past. We've had transfer embargoes with it. If you remember a few seasons ago,
it was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. Constantly, we've had it many times. We could have gone bankrupt. We were so close to going to administration before Tan saved us, and then all that happened.
There's been loads of winding up orders at Cardiff. So
he is honestly like one of the worst owners in football. Like, if I had to rank worst owners, I would put the Glazers number one. Oh God, what have I done? I've actually mentioned it. I've actually mentioned the scum that make me want to rant. Worst owners in football, in order for me, it goes the Glazers, Vincent Tan, Gillette and Hicks. They're the three worst owners in football history. Is those three?
To be fair,
Tan did was
I really would.
I think
if you would have said that before 2015, I would have completely agreed with you, because the way that Vincent Tan between the years of 2012 and 2015 absolutely ruined our club, and I'm not talking about the way he was playing. Yes, he did get us up to the Premier League. He ruined your shirt to red. He ruined the history. He ruined the complete in-go into the club. I mean, I remember the amount of protests that we went on before that Liverpool game. I don't think I've ever seen, minus Reading when we lost the playoff semi-final, I don't think I have ever seen the fan base as toxic as I have seen it in my entire lifetime.
Well, the worst nights of my life was this is really bad. We came up at the concourse. It was a night they actually gave out red scarves. Everybody. Loads of people refused. They've been thrown on the pitch, but loads of people were there, and
I thought that was us.
And I was almost.
I have two bits of history for you actually. Hang on.
I remember watching.
Two bits of history, both of which were thrown on the pitch by many a Cardiff fan.
I remember a press conference Vincent Tan had, and Nathan might be. I pretty much like he can tie the fuck off. Nathan might be able to correct me here, but I remember a press conference that Vincent Tan had, and he's saying, and a week later this happened with Hull City as well. I think a week later this happened. There was a press conference that Vincent Tan had saying that we're no longer going to wear blue. This club should be about empowerment. It should be about success. It should be about going forward. So we're now going to wear red. I'm like, Cardiff is like known as the city of blue. Like, there's something blue, something, you can correct me what it is.
The Blues, the rugby team are known as the Blues.
Cardiff Blues.
Not only that as well. Like, we cannot change the identity. You can't change the identity of the club like that.
We saw murmurs of it on the forums. We thought, no, this is a joke. This is a joke. Then it happened on Sky Sports. That is the second most shocking thing I have ever seen on Sky Sports in my life. You were speechless when it happened. That's the second thing, because the first thing was Gary Speed's death. Hands down. We had family at that time. When they came through, they didn't know. Face it, I won't explain it.
That was a horrible moment. He was an absolutely fantastic player.
Just imagine Paul's name as Red Bird's Legend. Doesn't sound right.
No.
It was. Sorry, Josh. I think we were playing. I can't remember now. 2 or 3 seasons, and it was the third season. We weren't going to renew our season tickets then. It was all over. But they brought back in the blue then. And to be fair, he has actually listened to the fans. He doesn't come to the games. I think he's been there.
He's been there 3 times.
3 times since, something like that. So he's staying away, and he is actually pumping his money into the club. He's keeping the club afloat as well. Okay, we've had the parachute payments and going up to the Premier League, so that's all been good. And he is listening to his fellow board members and all that sort of stuff. So he has learned, you could say. But I know that there are a lot of fans who still haven't come back since. Trusting
an owner's hard, and like,
Yeah,
it is, and it still is. Like, I was going back to the thing. This is the offending scarf. I have kept onto it, and I am one of the only Cardiff fans, I think, who have actually kept hold of it.
I've still seen that around people's necks in the last season or two as well.
I think it's disgraceful.
I don't know why.
But it's along with... Yeah.
It says it all when you say, like, when I go back to my point of like trusting owners. There's Man United fans who, in 2005, when the Glazers finally became full owners, they decided, no, but like they've went against what we stood for. They've had enough, and they went and formed FC United, and they've never came back. Like, they are no longer Man United fans; they are FC United fans, and it's because of the Glazers. I mean, Sky, the Premier League, they blocked the takeover in '98. It was a £600 million takeover. They blocked it. Yeah. And then the Glazers got control of the Premier League. And I don't know how the means test was never included on the Glazers, because if it was, they would never have gotten in charge. They would never became owners. But that says it all, really. Yeah. Tan, I'll admit, Tan has pumped his money in, but you can pump your money in and still be a shitty owner. You can still be untrusted, and that's the one thing that Cardiff fans need to realistically remember is pumping money in is still a shit thing. I mean, I was living through the days where Ian Murray was the owner of Rangers, still winning trophies, pumping money in, but it was not really. And I'm not getting into it because it's a controversial thing, and it is.
Sir David Murray.
He's a wanker anyway. Ian Murray's the fullback. Sorry, Ian Murray, David Murray. Yeah,
yeah.
Says it all. Like, frankly,
to be fair,
Sir David Dickhead Murray, but that's what it is.
To be fair, Reece, like, Rangers are, I think Rangers are doing really well this season, and they deserve a lot of credit. Gerrard has got them playing. There's no denying that.
Back onto that comment, to the question I was going to ask both of you. So with Neil Lennon and Celtic, it's safe to say, I said it a few weeks ago, that team looked clueless without Anton Edward. Now, he's been in the squads, but he hasn't been starting. Does he have an injury problem, or does him and Neil Lennon not quite get along with each other?
I don't think they get along at all. I think there is some sort of
they must be
situation.
As far as I'm aware, from what I've been hearing, is he has a bit of an attitude problem. Is Edward? Apparently, he wants to leave. From what I'm hearing, he wants to leave. Which, I totally agree with you, Nathan. I don't understand why he is still there. And to be honest with you, I actually think it's only going to get worse for Celtic, because, like, if they keep Neil Lennon, they could be 14 points. It could be 14, it could be 17. The way that things are going right now, Celtic were lucky to draw with Hibs. Really lucky. They had to rely on a dodgy penalty. Well, it is Celtic, of course.
Told you the scoreline, mate.
And an equaliser that basically Paul Hanlon needs to. Yeah. So that is something. We need to move on.
Yes.
Very, very quickly. The last thing we're going to discuss this evening is there a title race in the Bundesliga? Bayern Munich unexpectedly drew 1-1 with Werder Bremen. Borussia Dortmund won 5-2 against Hertha Berlin. So I'll come to Josh first. Is there a title race in the Bundesliga?
If Dortmund didn't have Farce as their manager, yes. If Lucien Favre was not the manager of Borussia Dortmund, I think Dortmund would. Because, if that team knew how to defend, and you had Haaland at the other end, scoring absolute goals for fun, I think Dortmund would, but I just don't. I think Lucien Favre will probably. I think Lucien Favre will just never win that. Will ever win Bundesliga as long as he's there. I just don't think the guy is capable of doing it. Regarding other clubs that are up there, Bayer Leverkusen only a point behind Bayern Munich.
Leipzig as well.
Leipzig.
That's only one team in the league. There's only one team in the Bundesliga for me, and I can't wait to get to it.
Leipzig are there. Even Union Berlin somehow.
That surprises me. Normally you go for second season syndrome, but clearly not.
Schalke are getting relegated. Even Gladbach haven't made it, but As much as I would love to see a race in the Bundesliga, I think Bayern Munich I think by January, I think in January they'll probably start kicking on. I think Dortmund will do their usual, like they'll win a couple of games and then they'll have an absolutely atrocious, so like lose to Mainz or Schalke or something, and fall way off. I think it's a Bayern Munich win. I think Bayern Munich will win it.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
They've actually had a better start this season than they did last season as well. They've actually had, I made some notes on this, Doug, 19 points out of 24 this season. Last season it was 15 points out of 24.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and not only that, it was really close around Christmas, I believe, last year as well, between, Bayern,
Dortmund,
Borussia Dortmund, and RB Leipzig. I think they were top at one point as well.
RB Leipzig were 11 points clear in the league at the time.
They were, and then they added their injury problems, of course. Timo Werner leaving after, of course, the stop because of the demonetized virus. There you go.
George, I'll help.
I'll help.
But then you just had Bayern breaking for it. But I don't know what is the thing with Dortmund that's letting them down. They need that star in midfield, I think, either that or something strong in defence. If they can get that, then maybe they can contest.
Yeah,
I don't know because the quality is there. Akanji's there. Hummels is there. You've got Witsel in midfield.
I don't trust
It's Favre for me.
I don't trust our goalkeeper. Roman Burke's a dodgy ass keeper.
You know, I think would be a good goalkeeper for them if they seriously want to win the league.
Jan Sommer.
I'll tell you one thing that was a lot.
Jan Sommer, because you're not getting Galachi. Since 20... So hold on. Let's see. Hold on. No, 7 times in the bench.
Was it Wolfsburg that won it before?
Dortmund won it twice. Dortmund won it twice under Klopp. It was Bayern Munich. No, it was Wolfsburg in 2007, 2008. Then it was Wolfsburg, and then it was Bayern twice. 2008, 2009, 2010, and then 2011, the 2011 season, 2012 season were Dortmund's 2 peak years, and then after that, Bayern. Yeah, Bayern ever since. Bayern reclaimed the title and they won the treble.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bayern's defense isn't what Dortmund does. So,
Jan Sommer is one of the most underrated goalkeepers in the Bundesliga. I think he's one of the best keepers in the Bundesliga.
Castells is another one. Castells highly rated. Good, Pavlenka as well for Werder Bremen. He's a very good goalkeeper. I still think the best goalkeeper, as much as I love Neuer, like he's a fantastic goalkeeper, I would go as far as saying the best goalkeeper in the league is still Galachi. Like I would take that like in a heartbeat. Like I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal.
But what we said before, do you think you think Lucien Favre, like me, is the main reason why Dortmund won't go anywhere?
Yeah, I truly believe so. I think if Dortmund want to progress, they realistically need to let him go. There's some good managers out there.
I just don't get how
Sorry, just to sort of cut across, I've just had a tweet from Villa Together podcast. It's last week's giveaway with the excellent Sporting_Iconic gave people the opportunity to win one A4 poster from their store, some of which shown below. Thank you to everyone who entered. The winners are Enrod 1992. So there you go. There you go. I've won a Twitter competition to get I think it's another poster. So yeah. So that'll be going up there somewhere.
Beautiful.
Come back to me, mate, when you get 2 of these.
Doug, I do have to say though, you need to paint those walls. Those colours do not go well together.
Yeah, mine's as much. Yeah, it looks like
not blue and yellow. Just
right.
He's got Fallout wallpaper.
The truth is, right?
Fallout.
The truth is, I actually used to have like animals on that wall, so it's been stripped off because literally when I was coming towards my 20s, there was no way I was keeping that up. So that's why. That's why.
Are you saying get rid of the animals saved you?
You need to paint those walls. Nathan's background's amazing. I live in pitch blackness. Reece just has a separate wall, and Paul looks like he has a TV from the 1980s in his background.
He uses it as well.
To be fair, lads, that's my wallpaper. That's my watch. It's like a dark grey, but I need to paint over it.
Thank you, Pete. At least somebody actually recognizes that. Thank you.
Yeah, but Doug, you're not 9 years old anymore.
He's got a good point.
I'm 28.
Well, get painted then.
They haven't won.
You know,
they haven't won 8 in a row. It's 7. It is 7 trophies. It's 8 this year if they win it.
I'll do something. You know, just to show people, I do actually live in a room. You know, I don't actually.
Josh has lights. Josh has lights.
I don't actually live in a dark room. You know that.
Just gonna reiterate the point because they are saying in the chat it's 8 titles. It's not. I'm going to correct you I'm going to correct it now in the chat. In terms of league titles in a row in a minute, it goes Celtic with 9, so it's going to end this season. Bayern Munich have won 7. It's Juventus that have won 8 in a row. They've won every Serie A since 2011, 2012. AC Milan were the last team to win it. It's 7 titles on the trot. Brilliant.
Who's doing beyond the 90 at the moment? Is it Neil or Anne? Because that's a cracking comment. That is an absolute cracking comment. Oh, gentlemen,
never mind. Sorry. Apologies. It is actually. It will be 9 in a row if they win it this year again. Jammy.
Go on, Avon. We know.
Such a self-proof.
That's nice. It's Neil. Thank you, Neil. You do make me laugh as well. Gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure yet again. We could talk for hours on end.
But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done, mate. We're not done yet, mate. We've got one more thing to sort out.
Right. Well, the floor is yours.
All right, you nut job. You can have the floor. This is your debate. I want to see if you can prove me wrong.
Oh yes.
Here we go. Right, get the popcorn out, baby.
Right, boys. Just you mute yourselves and let me handle this.
Let me just put my headset back in for this. Everyone actually is. Well, Paul can't be bothered to get up to mute this mic. He's happy enough to chill in there. No, my hands are always here.
That's what they all say. Right.
Yes, fine. We'll get you on again here. Right, so I'm going to start off with Nats. I am going to stick with David De Gea.
Well, obviously.
I'm not. I would love to put Mandy in there or even Kappa for the absolute crack of it, but no, I think De Gea stays in there. Left back is Ben Chilwell.
No, it's definitely not.
It's Chilwell. It's Chilwell. It's Chilwell. Look, Shaw has done nothing all year, and Telles hasn't had enough games to really put him in. I think it's
Telles in 2 games has done more than Chilwell all season. That says it all.
No, Chilwell's been one of our best players since he's got fit.
Since he got fit.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I would have to say. To be fair, and I'm saying it like Telles has only played 2 games, but he's not my pick. It is in fact what Doug's put in. Like based on how he's played so far, I'm picking Luke Shaw, mate.
No,
he's England's best left back.
I think it's Ben. I think Chilwell has scored a ton of goals. He's got a ton of assists. He's given us something that we haven't had in a long time, which is actually a left back threat. He's defended quite well, given he's an attacking left back. I think Chilwell has been consistent. I don't think Luke Shaw has done anything spectacular to guarantee himself in that spot.
For the record, guys, I was going to give him the right back, and now I've changed my mind. I'm going to slaughter him now.
Marcus Alonso.
It's Shaw.
Marcus Alonso. Alonso, no.
Well,
I think it's Ben Chilwell. I think Chilwell's been consistent. He scored goals. He's given us assists. For me,
with all due respect, though, he has had a good season, so I will be inclined to give you Chilwell.
Off the season.
From this season only. Yes, I combined 11. All right, I'll give you Chilwell then because you've sort of convinced me.
My 2 centre backs would be. It's hard to pick centre backs, but I'm going to go with Thiago Silva and Maguire.
What?
No, because I don't think there's two Chelsea centre backs that get. I don't think there's two Chelsea centre backs that get it. But I think Maguire has been better than Lindelof, and that's the only reason why I'm going for it. Because I don't think there's two Chelsea centre backs that could be in there. I think Silva's been better than Suma, and Silva's been. No, sorry, Suma's been. There's been games where Suma's still been shaky, to say the least.
You're bonkers.
Oh mate, no! This is when I'm gonna.
Bonkers.
Mate, no, like no, it's not. No.
Would you say Lindelof's been better than Maguire though?
Lindelof has been better than Maguire. It's consistently he has been better. The only thing that Maguire's done well recently is scoring goals. Lindelof, even with a back injury, has outperformed Maguire. If I'm going to choose back pairings, I'm choosing Lindelof and Thiago Silva.
Lindelof's been the centre back that was dropped, and he was the one he was getting his head called for at the start of the season.
Nah, it's definitely like I would go as far as actually like Zuma. I don't know, but I wouldn't say Maguire. Twan Sebe. He's only had one. He's only played one good game, and that was in the Champions League.
The only reason why I'm not saying Suma is I think Thiago Silva's covered up a lot of mistakes that Suma's starting to make. So Suma's good, and his aerial threat's incredible. Like he's new scores from so many corners this year.
Yeah.
But I think Thiago Silva has made Suma look the best he can be. And so that's why I think Silva's in there. Silva's transition our defence. But
I'll agree with George that Twan Sebe is the best, like United's best centre back overall. Like in terms of like complete centre back, he is the best one. But the best centre back
either. Can't say by either.
No, I don't rate by at all. The best centre back like for Man United right now in terms of consistently playing is Lindelof. Like I would have him in the slot over Maguire. I feel like he's been more consistent. Right back. Don't even dare say Reece James. Don't even dare.
I wasn't going to say Reece James. I was going to say Wan-Bissaka.
Good, we agree. We can move on then.
Reece James has been good, but it's been between him and Azpilicueta, and Reece James is incredible. I think he's got one of the best. I think he's got great potential, but he's not as good as Wan-Bissaka overall yet.
I prefer Azpilicueta at centre back. To be honest, I would have had Azpilicueta and Lindelof as centre back, but frankly, he's playing as a right back, so no.
What formation are we going with?
Just go for, I don't know, 4-3-3.
Yeah, because the midfield is where it gets interesting for us both, doesn't it?
Well, see that's a good point.
Right. CDM. No, you've got a ton of CDMs. You've got McTominay, Fred, Matic as your, and
there's only one. There's only one choice for me. There's only one choice for CDM.
I think it has
there's
to
only
be
one.
Kante.
Yeah, Kante for me.
Kante, especially against the smaller teams, Kante's been against Newcastle again, exceptional.
Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic.
Bruno has to be ahead of him.
Yeah, you cannot leave Bruno out in this team. There's no way. He's in terms of attacking play, he's created the most chances in the league. He's got the most goal contributions behind Salah since he's joined the league as well. Like it says just how much of a big impact he is. Like that's how important he is.
With a very quick answer because of the time that we have. What do you think about this whole theory about his reckless passing that people say about him?
The one thing about Bruno Fernandes creates chances, he gets you goals, and he gets what you want. If he's going to play a simple game, he can. He played a simple game against West Brom, and he still got slaughtered for it. He plays risky passes. Yeah, he might lose the ball, but he's taking risks, and you've got to take risks to get a win or get a result.
Do you know Ricky from the United stand?
Yeah, he's a cunt.
Yeah, he hates Bruno. Right, so
he doesn't understand football. He doesn't understand football.
So we're going Kante and Bruno. Now the other one I'm going to go for.
I think we might have the same player here. So
it's hard because Havertz hasn't played in that number 8 position, because he obviously
not for me. For me.
I'm going to go with Mason Mount.
Really, I was thinking a slightly different player.
No, ever since Lampard's moved Mason Mount to the number 8 spot, he has been one of our most consistent players. Like his work rate's incredible. His attacking threat's been mad. He does a defensive shift, and ever since he's played as a number 8, he's been consistent. And I think the kid gets better and better as each game goes on.
I would have to say on the grounds of it, like Mount's been consistent since he's been moved, but only when he was moved. So he's not.
But
it's only just started picking up.
Can you expect a player to play well though when you get chucked on the left wing? Southgate chucked him out on the left wing again for England, and the same result happened. You can't expect a player out of position to play well.
True, that's true. I honestly, if I had to, it's narrowed down to two for me. It's either Fred or Jorginho, to be honest.
The only reason why I'm not saying Jorginho is because Jorginho plays and where Kante would play. If Kante and Jorginho on the same team, Jorginho.
That's why I've went Fred.
Jorginho plays for Kante. I think
he's been in terms of consistency. Apart from Bruno Fernandes, he's been United's most consistent midfielder. Breaking down plays, tenacity in the box, his energy. He's won us games when we really needed something, and that's what you need in a footballer. He isn't the most creative or complete player, but he gets what we want, and he doesn't get a lot of credit for the work he puts in. He doesn't get a lot of credit.
To give you credit, the thing is, when it comes to Mason Mount and Fred, one, they're two completely different players and what they have to do, and two, they're playing completely different roles in two different formations. So I think we'll go for Mount / Fred, given that specific reason of different formations and different roles. As a player we can't agree on, but we'll let when we finish at the end, we'll let the boys decide who gets in. We'll put it to the boys between Fred and Jorginho. But at the moment, Fred and Mount. Sorry, Fred and Mount. Okay, so it's the traditional front three. So I'm just saying this now. In terms of who gets in, 100%, it's not Hakim Ziyech. It's not Ziyech. I will
just to wind you up.
Right.
No, okay, it is, to be honest. He gets on the right hand side.
We'll start with striker. It's a bit hard because I'm going to say it now. I'm going to watch everyone's faces here as I say this. I'm putting Tammy Abraham up front.
Do you want me to argue with you? Because I'm not.
I think ever since Tammy Abraham came into the squad, his link up play with Timo Werner has been really good. He scored 3 goals in his last 4 games. He's getting involved in the play. He's got like a really good connection with Werner. Werner. If you look at
you
Werner,
don't rate Fred, you don't know football.
So I'm going with Tammy Abraham. The only reason why I'm doing that is because. It's hard because I would say
because Werner's been playing more on the left wing because that's who you want in the left wing, isn't it?
Yeah, because controversially, I don't think Rashford has been a world beater so far this season.
He's not been a world beater, but he has turned up in games when we need him. And if you look at the games, not just in the Premier League, but also obviously we're not going to include the Champions League here, but he has turned up in these games when he's been played as a number 9. He isn't a number 9 though. I would honestly say I would have Werner as the number 9, and I would have as the left wing. I would have Werner up front. I'd have Rashford in the left wing, and then we'll fight out for the right hand side.
I'll put Timo Werner up front. I think in general he's played obviously more than what Tammy Abraham has, and I think he has created chances. He has scored 8 goals in the last 10 games. That is in general, but with the stats.
I can't put Martial in there. Who is our number 9 because he was suspended. He's not had many minutes. He's not had much opportunities to even get a goal. No. I also can't say Cavani because he's only played twice. Yes, he's scored, but it's still not enough to say you get into the 11 at the moment. I would have Werner up front and I'd have Rashford on the left because Rashford has been consistent in these games.
The only reason I say Tammy Abraham because I don't think anyone here expected Abraham to be in the conversation when we signed in our front line with Pulisic, Werner and Ziyech. So I think that's the only reason why I think Timo Werner deserves it. Now, right wing, it's between Ziyech and realistically Juan Mata, who's been your right winger or your right mid, so to speak. So this season it's between Juan Mata and Ziyech, but Mata's played more than Ziyech. But if you watch Ziyech, surely he gets it. Like some of the balls he puts into that box on that left peg is some of the best crawl. He's got one of the best left foots in the Premier League. I think he gets it easily. You don't have a proper right winger at the club.
I could troll you and just say the right winger that's going. I could just troll you and say the right winger's James Rodriguez just to wind you up. He doesn't even play for either team. No, you know what? In all fairness, Ziyech has since he's suited to the role, he has been absolutely fantastic. I cannot deny that. What I'll also say though is like Juan Mata, like he's one piss off. Like he's just not had played on the right wing, played on the left wing. He just runs at defences. He's not had. I don't think he suits the Premier League, and I want him to do well. I want him to adapt. I think he's just too much of an old school winger, and I don't think it's going to help him at all. I think he needs a loan move and then see if it helps, and he can come back to United and fight for the left wing spot. But based on current form and the fact that he has contributed a lot to Chelsea, I would have to say Ziyech over Mata. But if it had been Greenwood playing, there's no winner. There's no winner but Greenwood.
I think it just shows how bad that right-hand spot is for you, Lewis.
Yeah, it is shocking.
I think it just sums it up. But I think Doug, Nathan and Paul, what is it to finish it off? Is it Fred or is it Mason Mount?
Fred.
Mount. I can see the argument for Fred, but I'm going to have to go Mount for where we are on the table.
I overrule those two because they don't know football.
Mount wins by democracy. Doug, we're not friends anymore. Get out.
In all fairness, if you put it in a 4-2-3-1, Fred gets
Fred.
in.
Oh yeah, because Mason Mount.
But if it's a 4-3-3, then Mount.
It's two completely different people. It's hard to.
But also, like, I'm looking at Pete's comments and he's saying, 0 goals and 41% success rate for tackles. Okay, so Fred hasn't scored a goal. Okay, but is Fred supposed to be a goal scoring midfielder? No, he's not. He's there to break up. He's similar to Kante in the sense he's there to break up play. He's supposed to get games flowing. He could score goals, but it's not his game.
One very quick question. If you're taking Jorginho out, so if you're taking Kante out, is it Kovacic or Jorginho?
Kovacic always.
Kovacic.
Always.
Kovacic.
Always.
Absolutely.
Nathan and Paul?
Yeah, Kovacic.
Kovacic, yeah.
Kovacic is just absolutely world
I
class.
think we need to shut up now so Doug can get to bed. he's just
I'm getting quite tired.
Well, you did look it.
I am getting quite tired, but a big thank you to Nathan and Paul for coming back on. Hope you've enjoyed, fellas.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks.
Oh, I've loved
Super.
it.
Thanks for having us.
He's a defensive
Excellent.
midfielder.
We'll definitely get you back.
He's 100% a defensive midfielder. If Fred's an attacking midfielder, I'm the king of France.
Reece, thank you very much for coming back on. We'll get you back on very, very shortly.
Of course, it's my show.
Next week. There we go. Next week, me and Josh were actually speaking about this. It's the FA Cup draw.
I'm going to try and explain this because Doug keeps raising up. Oh, he's back. Is he like? Oh, we don't know.
Let's go.
Yeah, the FA Cup draw is next week. So what we're planning to do is go live a little bit earlier at 6:45. The FA Cup draw starts at 7. And there you go. What we will do is probably stream the FA Cup draw and basically get the chat to just watch it with us and just react at the same time. I think that'd be quite a good idea.
Oh, I'm definitely in for that. Like, I'm not missing that one.
Nathan
I'm
and
not
Paul,
missing the chat.
we better see you in the chat. We better see you two in the chat.
We will.
So
be,
we need to revolve it. We need to get all the regulars that are actually on the that are actually appearing on the podcast and just rotate around whenever it's our club to draw, and we can just react verbally.
Yeah,
if we have to react to Liverpool, we'll just fall asleep. We'll just fall asleep.
No,
until then.
Since it's Chelsea and Cardiff game,
until then is
after 2010.
Man United versus Leeds, mate.
But until then, it is goodbye from. But until then, it is goodbye. It is goodbye from me, goodbye from Josh, goodbye from Nathan, goodbye from Reece, and goodbye from Paul. And we'll be back with you next week, a little bit earlier, 6:45 next week. And yeah, look forward to the FA Cup draw. See you later. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.